The kitchen is the hub of just about every home. It's where we prepare food, it's where we have silly and deep conversations. Sometimes in the same afternoon, it's where lunches are packed, it's where breakfast is swiftly made as we rush out the door into our day. It's where chores are taught, dishes and sweeping under the table, and it's where we can easily start to get frazzled and overwhelmed if we don't have simple, efficient systems and organization in place in our kitchen. I learned some very valuable lessons about kitchen organization and function when I had to move out of my house in a matter of a few days. And no, this was not by choice. You might have heard this before, but the end of 2019, our house flooded and we had days to move the entire house out, some of it into a warehouse storage and some of it with us into a rental home. And I literally had to touch and move everything in our house. Well, the great part about this is that I was given a blank slate, a white canvas, if you will, for the artists, and the opportunity to essentially rebuild my kitchen and my entire home how I wanted to. Of course, part of that was within the budget that our insurance adjuster had provided for us, plus a little bit of cash that we threw in for a couple of different upgrades. And in this episode, I want to share with you a few lessons that I learned as they relate to kitchen organization and function. And this is the first in a 2-episode series about being intentional in and around your home. In the next episode, we're going to talk about cleaning and laundry. I want to tell you how I keep my home from smelling like a locker room. Hello, living with 4 boys gets stinky real fast. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But for now, I want to really get after things and how we organize things and how we keep up with things in the kitchen. First, here are a few things that are going to happen in your life when your kitchen and pantry are well organized. Meal planning is going to be easier and smoother when you know what ingredients you have in the pantry and in the freezer. Dishes and dinner cleanup is going to be faster and quicker. I recently read a survey of, what's the struggle with dinner, and cleanup was like the #1 problem spot. Okay, which again, we'll talk about cleaning in the next episode. But dinner dishes are going to be easier and faster when things are the way they are, when they're well organized. Everything has a home. Here's the best part. When everyone knows where the home is, you aren't wasting time hunting for the carrot peeler. Or when you ask your 10-year-old to peel carrots for dinner, he knows exactly where to find the carrot peeler. It's really important that everything has a home and everybody knows where the home is. Not only for putting things back as they're coming out of the dishwasher, but also for being able to find them when you need them. They're right there where they should be. A well-organized kitchen is going to create clarity, like just in the examples I shared. It's also going to improve the function and the way you move and work in the kitchen. And it's going to simplify the entire space for you. Because when you are moving and working around and in the kitchen several times a day, it's crucial that it be organized. All right, next I want to ask you a couple of questions. So what functions well in your kitchen now? Is the utensil drawer in the right place? Do you need to move it? Do you need to move your dish towels? Physically, are things in the right place? Okay, what's functioning well in your kitchen now? What needs to be reset or reworked or repositioned or reorganized? How can you better improve where things are and how they're organized in the different spaces in and around your kitchen? Is dinner prep, just regular night-to-night dinner prep, going smoothly? What could you do differently about meal prep, the dinner prep that happens on the day-to-day? What about reorganizing your pantry? Being able to see all the ingredients that you have is going to make meal planning and meal prep really easy. I know what I have, I can make the meal plan. I know where to find it, makes meal prep a lot faster and easier. Would creating different areas in your kitchen make things easier and function better? For example, do you have a setting the table area? Where if your child is going to be setting the table, is everything they need in one place or one area? Maybe it's inside of one side of a cabinet, or we have drawers now. So we actually have that now. One of the drawers closest to our table is the table setting items that need to be set for the table. And then of course the silverware is right there. So we have that table setting area. We have a lunch packing area where the water bottles, the lunch boxes, the thermoses that keep the food warm, all of that, the lunch boxes of the weekend, they all go into this one particular area. That has been a huge help for us because the lunch boxes are something we had sort of an area before, but it's better now that we have moved it to a place that's more convenient. It's easier movement-wise within the kitchen, and it's made the lunch packing process easier for all of us in the mornings. What about a baking space? Is everything you need for baking or for just like dinner prep, all of your pastas and rices together, your sauces and cans together, all of your baking items together on two lazy Susans, if you will. So however you want to create these different areas in your kitchen, my guess is you could make some small changes to the way things are organized, positioned, and into areas, and you're going to see some great improvements. And just think about what might work better. Do you need to move snacks into a new location so they're easier for kids to reach? What about cups? Kids can get their own water from the fridge if you put their cups where they can reach them, right? So I want you to think about how you can change things around to make your kitchen flow and function and be better organized. Then once you do that, I want you to take your people on a tour of your kitchen. Like legit, like make it a party. Let's go on a tour. At the end of the tour, we're having dessert, like whatever. Take a tour to teach your kids and maybe your spouse, I mean, not that that's a thing around here, where to find things and where to put them away after you unload the dishwasher. Because when everybody knows where everything is supposed to go and it's all very visible and it's laid out nicely in the drawers and you have organizers or you know that this is where the spices go, then it makes it a whole lot easier when you have, too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Would a commercial kitchen, a restaurant kitchen function if everything didn't have a home? How many chefs, sous chefs, line cooks are in and around a restaurant kitchen? Could you imagine the mayhem if like 6 things were not in the right place? Oh no, like the whole kitchen could just fall apart, right? Everything has to be in its place for the kitchen to run well. So think about your own kitchen as if it were a commercial kitchen. Sometimes I feel like my kitchen's a commercial kitchen with the amount of food prep that happens in there and the amount of people that come in and out of there every single day. Think about it that way, because the more organized that it is, the better it's going to function with everybody living and working and cooking in and around your kitchen. The goal with these questions and these examples is to help you think about how you can create more function and organization in your kitchen. So how to go about doing this exactly is to first identify a starting place. This is a little bit along the lines of PI, my plan, implement, evaluate, but you need to kind of plan. Start with one spot. My experience has been that once I start with one area, then I move to the next and the next and the next until I kind of come to a place where I'm like, let's live with this for a little while and see how it goes. But the first thing you need to do is start with one drawer, one cabinet, one shelf. What can you do to better organize? Okay, what can you do to start with that reorganization? So ask yourself these things. Once you've identified where you're going to start, you need to ask yourself a series of questions. And these are specific to the kitchen, but you could certainly apply these to other rooms in your house. So do you need this item, ingredient, gadget? Do you need it? Need's a hard word. Need, want, they're hard, especially in the kitchen because you never know, because you don't use the meat thermometer that often. Yes, you need the meat thermometer. Yes, you need our freezer bag stands that hold your bags open for your freezer meal prep, right? So do you need this? Is this ingredient expired? If you're not sure, then I would toss it. Also, will we eat this? There are times where I just get something because I'm like, I think this will end up on a menu and meal plan or ingredient, it's been sitting in the shelf for like 18 months. Maybe it's time to donate that if you have a donate opportunity, or toss it if you just know that you're not going to ever eat it. Next question, once we've decided if we're going to get rid of it or keep it, is does this still need to live here? Does this set of ingredients or group of ingredients, do we need to move the baking shelf? Do we need to put the canned ingredients somewhere differently? Do these gadgets, are they best serving me by being in this particular drawer, right? So think about where this thing needs to live. Does it still need to live where you found it? If not, move it. And then I highly recommend doing the areas as I talked about. We have the lunch packing area, we have the setting the table area, we have the snack area, we have the spices area, and then the glasses above the spices, because generally that's just me going in there and I don't want all the glass pouring out. The kids accidentally knock something down, so that's kind of my cabinet. And then we have the baking cabinet, which the kids are in and out of that one because they love to help me with making cookies and quick breads and muffins and things like that. So thinking about how you can best organize your entire space by the different uses of different things in your kitchen, right? Grouping things together based on the function of those particular items in the kitchen. A perfect example from our recent past is we had the water bottles up high above the coffee, and we had the lunch packing materials down over here. When we moved back into the kitchen, I moved the lunch packing closer to the sink, and then I moved the water bottles with the lunch packing stuff. So it's just a simple reorganization of the space that we had to pull those like items closer together so that it's fewer touches as I'm moving through the kitchen, in that case in the mornings, getting lunches ready for the boys before school. Also consider your organizational personality. There's different ways to organize. I personally prefer to organize by sort of grouping like things together, but you can organize however your heart's content, right? The idea here is to put it back where you think it should go, back into the space, you know, but if you're keeping it, right? Some things are gonna go in the trash, but you can put it back into its space and then try it out. This is the part where I think we can get stuck in just kind of leaving things the way they are. We don't really think about, like, is this the best use of this space in my kitchen? So use my examples and my experience of being forced out of our house and then back in to help you. You know, hopefully you don't have something that dramatic going on, because it's very dramatic. But use my experience and lesson to help you rethink the way that you can organize in your kitchen. And I think the key here is testing it. And if it's not working, then move it again, right? Another great example of this is my sister moved, oh gosh, it's been I think 2 years now. And she asked my mom to help her organize her kitchen based on how my mom thought that she would operate in her kitchen. And I was there not long after that visiting, and she asked me to do the same thing. So I moved a few things around how I would operate in her kitchen, and how, I mean, I stayed with her for a few days, so I was working in her kitchen. And then I came back a few weeks, months later, and she had changed it again. And so that's a perfect example of, and that was a new kitchen for her, but it's figuring out what's working and how you need to move things around. And even as your kids age, like, we don't have all of the things down low anymore for the kids to reach, because they can reach them up higher now. So all of this to say, be thinking about how you can best use your space and best use the ingredients and items that you have in your kitchen to make it the best organized it can be for right now, and have the most function, and it's gonna work for you instead of work against you when you're in the kitchen. A recap of the steps that I've shared. It's first, identify and plan your starting point, where you're gonna start, and then just let yourself go from there. Do as much as you can. I like to think of organizing as a kind of like riding in a motivational wave, if you will. Like, you'll start with one drawer, and then you'll get real excited about the changes you made there, and then you go to the next one and the next one, and you'll just kind of keep moving until you've reached this point of, okay, let me live with this now and see how it goes. So after you've identified the starting place, you get going by looking at all of the things that you have, whether it's ingredients and gadgets, and you ask yourself the questions about, do I need this? Does this need to live here? What am I doing with this? Do I need to move this? And figuring out how to then best sort of rehome everything, putting everything back, taking that tour so everybody knows where everything is, so that everybody is working together and knowing the place and the home of all of these different ingredients and items, and then live in it, test it out, see how it goes, and decide if you need to change anything yet again. And again, this is very much a journey. I think that organization is kind of it's going to happen throughout your whole life, right? And I'm always looking, and I hope you are too, looking to better organize things. What can I do differently with this space, right? I'm sitting here in my office. Right here is my office closet. It needs some help. I did reorganize it when we moved back in. Hasn't been that long, but it still needs a little bit of help, right? So there's always a few things that we can better improve the function and organization in and around our home. But I hope these ideas with the kitchen are inspiring you and encouraging you to go and make a few updates to make the function in your house better for you. All right, as we do in every episode, we take a big old bite of pie, which is plan, implement, evaluate. PIE is my acronym for intentional living. So I want you to plan the steps we've already kind of outlined here, and organizing one drawer and using that place, ask, rehome method to help you get things into a better location, whether that be the trash or into a new drawer or cabinet. It doesn't matter. And then I want you to do another one, and then another one, and then another one. And I want you to kind of ride that reorganization wave as long as you can till you get up to a place where you are ready to kind of test out the new setup that you have. Of course, then implementing is kind of working within this new organizational setup that you have. Cooking a couple of meals. Maybe you just put the marinara in the wrong spot, right? So cook a few meals, see how it works, see how it goes. And that's where, of course, the evaluate piece comes in. And I think this is the part that the organizational guru people, whoever they are, they kind of leave this out. What is working well? Is this in the right place? And do you need to revert part of what you did back to how it was before? Because maybe it was working better before, right? So totally fine to revert if you need to, but only as long as it's the best function, use of your time, use of your space, and efficient in the kitchen as you are cooking and meal planning and working in and around the kitchen. I want you to be thinking about what is working well, and do you need to continue to make changes, or do you need to revert? So that's plan, what you're gonna do, implement it, live in it, work in it, cook in it, test it all out, see how it goes, and then decide, is this working well? Do I need to kind of go back to how I was? Is this feeling good? What's not working? Should I move something back, forward, whatever? It's all about the function and efficiency in your kitchen. All right, before I move into the last section of think, feel, take action, another idea would be to share your before and afters. There's something so exciting about what it looked like before and how you have it now. Okay, and yeah, somebody might roll their eyes at you like, really? Okay, that's a cute looking cabinet. All right, your fridge looks great now. But really, there's something magical about seeing how it was before and seeing how you've reorganized it. And it's orderly and it's clean again, and it's just gonna function better. So I think sharing the before and afters are really fun. You are welcome to email. We would actually love to encourage you and cheer you on as you go along in organizing your kitchens. If you want to email us your before picture, we don't care. There will be no judgment. I probably have a before picture that looks just like that. And then your after, and how you're excited about how much smoother and easier it is going to be for your meal prep, and whether you're doing a big freezer cooking session or just cooking a skillet meal for dinner tonight, whatever it is, I wanna see it, and I wanna see your progress, and I want to cheer you on. Think, feel, take action. I want you to think about how you can improve the function and efficiency in your kitchen. Something to think about. My guess is me talking through these different ideas here today is giving you an idea and a starting place of where you could go right now in your kitchen to get started. So I want you to be thinking form, function, efficiency. Function, efficiency. We want to improve on both of those things because the kitchen, we're just there. I feel like I'm there all the time. If I'm not in my office, I'm in the kitchen, right? In there working day in, day out because, you know, like we've talked about before, we got to eat every day. I don't know why these little people want to eat all day long, but they do. Anyways, form and function and efficiency. That's what we are after. Finally, I want everything to feel coordinated and cohesive in your kitchen. That's the end feeling that we want. We want this was easy. I had no problem getting the ingredients I need. I knew the carrot peeler was where it needed to be when I needed to grab it. That's how I want things to feel. And yes, this is going to take some time, especially if you've got little people unloading the dishwasher, all those kinds of things, to make sure that things go back into the places they're going to go. We actually have something that if the kiddo who's unloading doesn't know where something goes, they leave it on the counter and then I'll put it back. Because that's something that we've just kind of taught and trained, I guess, around here. Because that way, then whoever's gonna go after it next, it's gonna be in the right spot and we don't end up in this sort of hunting situation where we're looking for that thing. So if they're not sure where it goes specifically, then they'll just leave it on the counter. And then when I'm next in the kitchen, I'll just quickly toss it back into the drawer or cabinet that it's supposed to be in. Okay, coordinated. Thinking, efficiency and function, feeling, coordinated, and then last, taking action. Again, start with that one drawer. We talked about that in the plan. Organize one drawer, then a cabinet, then a shelf, then another drawer, and just ride that wave. As long as your time and energy allows, live in your new setup, see how it goes, and see how the function and efficiency in your kitchen has improved. Part 1, kitchen organization. We're gonna talk about other home organization and home cleaning and laundry in the next episode. So subscribe so you don't miss it. Also, we love to hear what you think about our episodes. You can leave us a comment if you're watching on YouTube. You can leave a review on your podcast player. Of course, you can reply to any of our emails. And if you have not yet, please download the accompanying worksheets for all of the season 2 episodes. You can do that at erinchase.io/podcast. We will email you a link to all of the worksheets for these episodes. So that is it for this episode. It's bye for now, and we will talk again soon.